If you hear weird pig noises, it's this sweetums right here. What's up, dudes and dudes to the internet? My name's Seth, and we're gonna be doing a Trove patch notes. You'll have to excuse me, I just woke up. Yeah, we're gonna be doing a patch notes today because even though it was just a little hotfix, we actually ended up having some big bugs end up getting squished. And unfortunately, I'm just going to say this right off the hop, they originally said that this hotfix was going to end up removing the tethering system. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem that this hotfix ended up actually doing that, which I find very disappointing and very confusing because of the simple fact that the devs don't seem to, like, do they realize just how detrimental it is to end up getting the tether system out of this game? Like, seriously, there's so many people that are waiting to come back to the game that have quit temporarily because this tether system is in place. And I think that that's another reason why so many people are just absolutely rushing the Adventurine and the Clubits and everything like that in their clubs, is because we can't farm together. The quests, though, those kind of work, so it's okay. But in either case, you don't care about that. We're going to get right into it. I just wanted to say that the tether system is still a part of the game, and there's no idea when it's going to end up being removed. And then also, adventuring farming and stuff like that has been untouched as well. We can still end up using the same methods that I had in my Clubits tutorial video, and there's also still the parrot farms and stuff like that. But the devs are aware of it, and they are going to nerf it eventually down the line, so don't be surprised when it ends up actually coming out of the game. In either case, we're going to be giving away information rather than prizes, so I would still appreciate if you would like the video. It helps me out very much and makes the video show up in searches. Here you go, sweetheart. She's trying to like lick herself like crazy on my lap, which is very distracting. So, clubs fixed an issue with the club UI screens displaying the rank settings list for members improperly. Okay. Fixtures can no longer be placed on top of fixtures that are already building, which would prevent fixtures from being created or something. I don't know, or they like create over each other or something. It's really weird. Clubs can now opt out of appearing in the portals in the club HQ. I don't know what they mean by club HQ. They've never called it that before. They're talking about the big giant clubhouse in the hub. So you can actually opt your club out of even being there. These commands can be run by members with the access control permission and can only be run while in the club world. So the club commands are going to be as follows: /club portals opt out, /club portals opt in, and /club get portals opt out. I don't know what that last command is. Like, that's really weird. And then we got membership is now required to set a club as primary. So now you have to actually be a member of a club in order to set it as your primary club. I maybe what that means, because the only thing that I can figure that means is that maybe you would end up setting your primary club, leaving that club, and then it was still your primary. Is that what they're talking about? Because otherwise that's a little bit confusing in the way they explain that. Locked fixture slots in the club UI now indicate what club level unlocks them. Thank you, devs. That's actually a very big fix. Now we can finally just see that this slot right here takes club level 6. This one right here takes club level 10. Wait, no, this is club level 8, and it says the Team Pixel is currently level 6. Oh, okay, so they went the extra mile with that one. That's actually really good. Club level up messages will now appear in the chat, which means that today we're probably going to be able to see that because it looks like we're going to be able to get to level 7 as I end up grinding all of this out today with a bunch of other people. It's not like it's just me. Restored the 750 member limit to clubs. It was not intentional that this cap was removed. Yes, we all know that it wasn't intentional, but it was beautiful while it lasted. I ended up talking about this in my 6 big game-breaking bugs of the Trove Adventures update. It was a great bug. It made it so that we could have over 750 members. Honestly, I don't know why they don't end up coming up with a new way to adjust it so that we can just have like club limits up to at least 1,000. Like at least 1,000 would be good. The only reason I could see it being a problem is because worlds in the game can only go up to 75 players as the player capacity limit. And if you ended up having an extremely active club during prime hours and stuff, it would mean that 75 people would be in the club world and then everybody else wouldn't be able to actually go into the club world. That's my 2 cents towards it. That's the only reason I could see them not doing it. Otherwise, it might just have server instability issues and stuff. Now, I want to point this out because this is going to be a very big issue for a lot of big clubs, including my clubs on both Xbox and PS4 and on PC, obviously, you can see. We are not going to be able to invite any new members to the clubs until we end up getting lower than 750 members. So right now we're over capacity. We just got to slowly end up kicking people over time before we can end up actually getting back up to capacity. And something interesting to point out too is you're going to notice here that our daily experience for the club, some bigger clubs might have already noticed this, our daily experience is a lot lower than it normally should be for having a club at max capacity. The only reason I can figure for that is that while our club is at 835 members right now, the game considers us as lower than 750 because the game can only count up to 750, and let's just say we were at 850 and then we ended up kicking members. The game doesn't take into account that we're still over capacity. It just sees that you've kicked a couple members, so the game code itself is counting down from 750 members. I hope that that wasn't too confusing. Most of all, this is only going to affect big clubs that have over capacity, but I'm just saying that our maximum amount of daily club experience is going to just get lower and lower until we can end up getting back up to 750. And even then, I don't know, like it might just be like some big game-breaking bug that the devs didn't really think about, because maybe when we get to 750 members at this point, the game is just going to consider us at lower than 750 just because of the way that the overcapacity ended up working. I don't know. But in either case, when players donate all that they have to the club, it means Klubits, by the way, it's not going to end up being anonymous anymore. So it's going to actually be able to show, whoopsie daisy, it's just in members tab. It's going to actually start counting towards people that end up donating all their Klubits and stuff, apparently. So that's really, really good. You don't gotta donate one at a time anymore. If a club has insufficient Klubits to pay the rent, the pay rent button is disabled and the amount due turns red. Another thing that I want to mention, go away Bluetooth. Another thing I want to mention very quickly here, just because so many people are still very confused about it. The Klubit rent for a club is only the responsibility of the club leaders themselves. People that are a member of the club, you don't have to pay Klubit rent or anything like that in order to stay in the club or anything. It's that you have to pay the rent in order to get the benefit from all of the fixtures that are in the club at a time. The rent is going to be weekly, and yes, it still helps for other people to end up donating Klubits and stuff like that. There's some actual clubs on Trove that actually require you to donate Klubits, and that's why some of them are progressing so fast, but I think that's kind of a jerk move myself. In either case, though, fixtures that don't have a weekly rent cost will now refresh without payment, because otherwise we had issues where the Rally of Heroes and the Vault at level 1 don't end up actually taking any rent, and for some reason it was just costing rent, or at least pretending that it did. Allow larger clubs to appear active in Club HQ portals as well. So clubs that were larger in capacity were not actually allowed to appear in the active tab, and generally speaking, that portal house is just an absolute mess, like seriously. Adventures from clubs you are a member of will now show the name of the club. So let's take a quick little peek right here, and we can see Team Pixel right there in text. So if you ended up accepting this quest from any other club, it would actually say which club it is accepting the quest from, which I think that is a very nice little change. That is, like, that's just great, dude. That really is. So then we've got the fixtures tab, and the club UI now gives better feedback. For example, it properly informs you when you donate, when you don't have enough Klubits to pay the rent. Okay, that's what it means, because otherwise they have a very big typo where it's like don't like it's got trademark in it, for crying out loud, like seriously. Fixed minions from Chaos Vials despawning instantly. Updated the adventure tracker to prevent some client crashes that could occur while it was opening. So sometimes you would open this and it would just end up crashing your game. Generally speaking, I'm still waiting to see, after some hours of farming Adventurine, whether or not the random crashes are still going to be an issue, because there has been a lot of constant crashing lately and the DCs are still a problem, like the disconnects. Updated the adventure tracker. Oh, we already did that. Fixed an issue where two similar adventures would not complete at the same time. I don't know what that means, because you actually can't accept two of the exact same quest from two separate clubs. It's kind of strange that it does that, because otherwise, well, I guess otherwise we would be able to essentially get double the Adventurine for just completing the same quest. I think it means similar clubs or similar adventures where it's like kill 100 enemies and kill 300 enemies. If you just so happen to offset those to complete at the same time, maybe they wouldn't end up completing properly. So then we've got the additional updates. Fixed a client crash that could occur around torches. Fixed a rare server crash and some other server stability improvements. Hopefully, we'll see if that ends up actually affecting us in the long run. Flux artifacts should now be unlocked in the loot collector by default. That is great, because otherwise you would go to the loot collector and they would stay locked. Also, I do want to point out that this affects fish as well. That's great, because fish were always so annoying that you had to unlock them all one at a time. Like seriously, fixed an issue that could prevent the tutorial from being completed. Hey, that's probably the bug that I talked about in my tutorial video that showed the new tutorial area. If you ever want to go to the tutorial, you just type /tutorial and it'll throw you back into there so that you could experience it for yourselves, right? Fix the incorrect tooltip display of the Stay Classy badges. Okay, let's take a quick little peek at that. See if they ended up making them a little less gross. However, I really don't think so. Stay Subclassy. Level 15 and power rank 20,000, 25,000. I don't know. It seems to just be the exact same, but maybe not. Maybe there was a slight touch up in the text there. I don't know. The Super Starter Pack is now only available for players that have started the game and are 7 days old. So as soon as you end up having an account that's over 7 days, like over a week, you're not actually going to be able to buy that starter pack anymore, which is kind of disappointing and weird, because that Chaos Pinata mount actually does give mastery, meaning that players that are just starting the game aren't going to realize, if they end up actually playing this game far enough that they become a mastery farmer and try to get like every single item in the game, how are they going to end up actually getting that mount? That's what I'm confused about, because that's a little bit strange that they end up having that. So then they have switching from the crafting inventory to the adventure to the adventure inventory. I mean, should no longer leave the UI in an uninteractable state. So sometimes we would have it where we would actually be in the build menu right here, but we would have our normal hotbar, and just generally it was really finicky and broken. Fix some inconsistent naming for the Thoughtless Thirst aura. I guess they're going to finally change it so that it is it Thoughtless Thirst? Yeah, Thoughtless Thirst in here as well now. So it's just going to be Thoughtless Thirst across the board instead of, it was like some other weird name as well. I wonder if they ended up fixing the narwhal. Did they fix that? Nope. Because otherwise, when you unbox a narwhal from the Chaos Chest, it says the gnarly narwhal, and then otherwise it's got like a really weird name in the game itself. It's kind of like a dragon's name for some reason. Rare item alerts should no longer cause mouse over tooltips to disappear. That really only affects PC. Dino Tamer minions should no longer drop loot in battle arenas. Not that anyone plays PvP anymore, especially with the Knight and Fae being so overpowered and unbalanced now. Like PvP was always actually kind of fun. Now it's just straight up broken. The marketplace comparison tooltip should now appear again. That's good for console players, because on PC, of course, we have mods. Boat and dragon damage should no longer trigger subclass passive abilities. That's actually a really good one. Go away, Nokia. That's actually really good, because otherwise, you know, sometimes you would trigger your lunacy when you don't actually want to. I think most of all that's got to do with some people that are actually like exploiting the game somehow by probably using their boats for stuff like that. Then there is also the tasty Taiyaki mount no longer incorrectly claims glide speed. It just flops about as Taiyaki does. So we ended up talking about that in my Infinium Chef Pack video. There was actually a mount in there that was kind of a carpet reskin that still said it glided, but it doesn't actually glide. It's too bad because I think that would have been hilarious for it to actually end up gliding. The marketplace, cornerstone, and inventory will now allow you to purchase additional slots without having to close and reopen the UI. So if you're in your inventory and you're buying more inventory tabs, you're not going to have to close it and reopen it for it to take effect for you to end up actually getting more slots, right? The join trade chat option in the settings should now work again. The mobile mummy mount now displays the correct inventory icon because otherwise it was showing a different mount entirely. The Miner's Trove now includes Cinnabar. Miner's Trove is a box that you rarely get from mining resources that would drop Digsley as its rarest drop and then otherwise just bunches of ore, and now it can actually drop Cinnabar as well. The stats for the Goldwing Cub and the Golden Glitter Bug, the two mastery items have actually been improved. So let's take a quick little peek at these. You can see that the stats now include 33 energy regen because I'm pretty sure it was at 30% crit damage. Still not really an ally you want to end up actually using. And then the Golden Glitter Bug ended up gaining an improvement as well from 6% to 8% for its attack damage, which again, like I find it very strange that the devs are not giving these allies like really good damage or good stats or anything like that, because anyone who like has these in the first place is going to have the Raptor Berserker, the Chronomancer Cubesley, and all the other allies that are just the detrimental good ones in the game. You're pretty much only using the mastery ones for the reskin of the actual ally, right? Fixed an issue where signs displayed either showed no text or the wrong text. Now, this is very important here, folks. I didn't really talk about this in too much detail in my last patch video, but those of you that ended up going through all of your signs one at a time and readjusting the font and the text and stuff like that, you didn't have to do that because somehow they ended up actually fixing it. Because otherwise, all of these signs just said ahead lies, and then in the description it said ahead lies as well. And I thought that that was something that was just reset on the whole server and we were going to have to go through all of these signs and fix it all anyways. Even with them fixing it, I thought we were going to have to go through it all. But it seems that it was actually just an error in code, and it did end up fixing all the signs. So now everything is all back to normal. You probably noticed in your club, especially some of the bigger clubs out there, I know like on console and stuff like that, that use tons and tons of signs, especially on Jub. I hope Captain Red didn't end up readjusting all of the signs in Jub or anything like that, because now they're actually fixed. The LED lit lionfish has been found. So anyways, never mind their description. The LED lit lionfish, it was impossible to get from plasma fishing. Plasma fishing is in the game, if you didn't already know, because of the recent Adventures patch. I am going to have a plasma fishing tutorial video that I'm working on, but it's a bit of a lengthy process just because it's fishing and it's kind of boring. And then on top of that, I am going to have a definitive fishing tutorial video that's going to show you where you get all the fish. But for today, we're going to talk about the LED lit lionfish. You end up actually getting it from the Forbidden Spires biome when you fish out of plasma. Now, there's a dungeon that must have plasma. I don't know what it is actually, but what you can do is a nice little cheat is you just find a neon biome that's right by a Forbidden Spires, and if the plasma is eking into the biome, you can just be standing in the Forbidden Spires biome, fish into the plasma, and then you'll get the LED lit lionfish, which means that we can now actually get all of the plasma fish in the plasma fish tab right here in the combat section for some weird reason, meaning that mastery farmers can end up getting themselves a couple more mastery, at least 25 more mastery if you ended up having mastery from all the other things, right? So that ended up kind of throwing me up to 529 for my mastery. So all I really have left is just a couple things in the Adventurine tab, and then there's going to end up being just the what is it called, the Shadow Tower badges, which is going to take me like a million years to end up getting. And then last but not least, there are a couple bugs, but most notably is this one right here. Like, fix one thing, break another. That's kind of the Trove motto at this point. But for some reason, portals are just completely messed up, and actually doing this is really, really freaky and weird. There's a couple other bugs, of course, that have been added with this, with this patch, but that's the most notable one, so I just wanted to end up talking about that. In any case, we've spent way too much time talking about all this. Thank you so much for watching. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content that's social game. Build up loyalty points to my merch store. Links are in the description for that, where you can buy this shirt and a bunch of other stuff. And then those fans that want to go the extra mile and donate to me, you can donate to me for absolutely free with GawkBox. Links are in the description explaining that and also leading to the right website. Thanks for watching, everybody. Sayonara and stay epic.